What's going on, people? What's going on? What the hell is going on out there? There's all types of stuff popping off out there. I guess people are getting shot at museums. The big, beautiful bill has passed. A lot of stuff is going on. But I guess my most attention is probably towards like the stuff that the mainstream media, the mainstream media has people that come on every day and do the same talking points. They get 5-6 people every other hour. They switch out to another 5-6 people and they go over the same talking points. Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, it doesn't matter. And you come to realize that they're all the enemy of the people. They're all the enemy of the people. They're all covering up the real stuff. We don't want people dying. You know what I'm saying? We want people to thrive. I don't understand why certain stuff is just like, you know what I mean? It's like common sense is just gone completely out the window. They don't care about anything. They just want to enrich their pockets. It's like the whole thing with Doge, right? The Doge thing comes through. They find all this corruption. Nobody gets arrested. Jeffrey Epstein, hangs himself. Ghislaine Maxwell is in prison because she trafficked people, but there's no victims. So none of it makes no sense. But here at the Rock and Roll Rebel Show, we're going to try to break it all down. We want to break it down and understand you should be fired up just as we are.
Look at this dumb motherfucker.
But I understand everybody's busy. You know what I'm saying? I'm busy too, Got stuff going on. I got kids. And the taxes, everything's just crazy. It's just crazy. But I guess this episode is going to be about Dan Bongino and Kash Patel went on an interview a couple days ago with Fox, and they wanted to talk about Jeffrey Epstein. They wanted to talk about the Trump assassination. You don't hear nothing about the Trump assassination in Pennsylvania, Butler, Pennsylvania, with Thomas Crooks. They said he acted alone. I mean, Israel is being attacked, I guess, right? They shot 2 Israel people that are outside a museum in Washington, D.C. It's just, everything is just, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, they want to give you this. A plane went down in San Diego. It's just over the top. It's just over the top. It won't stop. I promise you, it won't stop. And you got to learn to slow it down. You got to get out and vote. I guess that's the only way. If we can outnumber them in votes and they understand where we're coming from. But who knows? It's also like the 5th anniversary of George Floyd's death. You know what I'm saying? So times are real wild and they come fast. They come quick. And it's not going to stop. It won't stop. Can't stop. And I guess, you know what I'm saying? You get into that power situation. You know what I'm saying? Like Nancy Pelosi's and all these politicians that have been there forever. Donald Trump's trying to do good things. I think he's trying to do good things. But you got to remember, it's like grandpa up there. Donald Trump is almost 80 years old, might be 80 years old. And he's doing a hell of a job with his information. But he tries to hire the good people like Kash Patel and Dan Bongino. You know what I'm saying? Dan Bongino, we love Dan Bongino. He had a radio show and all that stuff. He talked all this good stuff like Epstein this, the deep state that. And then when he comes in a position of power, he just collapses, bro. Kash Patel, remember Kash Patel? Talking about how he was going to turn the J. Edgar Hoover building, the FBI building in Washington, D.C., into a museum. But he's out here talking all this nonsense. I saw the clips where they were talking about Epstein. They were talking about January 6th riots. They were talking about, I guess, they're talking about a lot of interesting stuff. I only saw a couple clips. Mainly the Epstein one went around talking about how he didn't kill himself. And they're like, have you seen our files? You know what I'm saying? We're still waiting on the JFK files. You know what I'm saying? They hid those for all these years. And then what, they put out some documents like that was incriminating? No, we already sort of know that it's an inside job. You saw what they did to our boy Richard Nixon. He was the original. He was the OG Trump. Richard Nixon was the OG Trump. You know what I'm saying? He should be on Mount Rushmore, but they won't put him on there because he was too popular and they crushed him. Same thing they're doing with Trump. And Trump's an old man, you know what I'm saying? Trump's 80 years old. He's grandpa out there. He loves America. He'll hug the flag. He listens, you know what I'm saying? But he's not down the rabbit holes. We're down the rabbit holes. And we thought we put in two good guys. We thought we put in Kash Patel and Dan Bongino. But boy, did they let us down. They let down the MAGA movement more than anything. You know what I'm saying? It's like, And now all of a sudden you hear stuff with Pam Bondi's hiding Jeffrey Epstein. Didn't Pam Bondi talk about Jeffrey Epstein? She had all these videos and all this stuff was on her desk. Comes out, it's all lies. It's all everything. Everything's a lie. And they're going to get the people going. They're going to get the people going. They're going to give you all types of stuff. Football players can now play in the Olympics. You know, they can play flag football. Did you hear that? You probably heard that. The NBA playoffs is going right now. The Thunder are rolling. The Pacers are out here, huh? The Pacers are out here defeating the Knicks. So I'm paying attention too to all that other stuff, but the main focus is all like the two favorite people that we thought were going to be excellent come to let you down. And I'm going to play the whole thing with Dan Bongino and Kash Patel and how I guess they, I don't know how a nation, I don't know what this is, but a nation of like 700 seem to be like blackmailed and controlled everybody. Like if you look at Jeffrey Epstein, they tried to say like he was from like the Israel mafia or something. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if Israel has a mafia. I know the Italian had a mafia. You know, there's mafia, there's Bloods and there's Crips. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel about Democrats and Republicans. But like I said, I thought we put in two people that were actually going to do something. I thought Kash Patel and Dan Bongino were going to do something. I guess they didn't want Matt Gaetz, right? Matt Gaetz was the first pick Trump did, and that was the pick. That didn't come through because they knew, we'll give them. They can't have Matt Gaetz because you know why? Matt Gaetz is like us. He's going to come in there. He's going to do right. And I think Matt Gaetz would take the bullet to do right. I would take the bullet to do right. I'll be like, look here, I came here on day one. They threatened to kill me. They threatened to blackmail me. They showed me pictures when I was in high school. They're trying to blackmail me. And then they said if that don't work, they're going to kill me. Because that's what they probably do. I mean, to put everything honestly, they probably threaten your life. And it's like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, shit. And they're probably for real. They're probably for real. They probably have a knife up to your neck when they're about to do it. But I still, at the end of the day, I wanted to play this whole Dan Bongino, Kash Patel. They were on Fox News. Let's pull this up. I guess it's 30 minutes long. We'll take breaks in between. We'll discuss. We'll figure out what the hell is actually going on and what's not going on. And that's the only way we're going to get down to the bottom of this. It's the only way we're going to get down to the bottom of it. It jumps off from the Comey, 8647. Remember, Comey was putting seashells on the beach, 8647. And I guess we'll pick up from there because it's all nonsense. And they're just going to try to hold you down. That's all they're going to try to do. So let's get this started. We'll pull this up. And it should be interesting.
The Secret Service on Friday and is now facing a string of federal probes after he posted an image of a beach scene with seashells arranged in the numbers 8647, writing this: cool shelf formation on my beach walk. The number 86 typically refers to elimination, and President Trump is, of course, the 47th president. After much public outcry on social media, Comey took down the post, claiming he was not aware that 86 refers to eliminating something and that he opposes violence. There have already been 2 assassination attempts on President Trump's life, which are still under investigation by the FBI. After the incident, new FBI Director Kash Patel told me he is in the middle of an active investigation into this matter. Days earlier, the two walked us through Comey's weaponization of the FBI. Kash Patel and Dan.
I don't think I want to hear the whole James Comey thing? Because we already know James Comey he's trying to sell books. So let's fast forward this a little bit. It's on my X if you want to watch the whole thing on X, but I don't want. It's celebrating National Police Week. Let's pick it up here. I guess let's pick it up here because I don't want, the Comey thing's old. I got that last week. Go watch that from last week. I want the good stuff. Or maybe we got to watch it and be hypnotized, right? They want to hypnotize us. Let's play this.
The honor wall, and I want to walk past that with you. I unfortunately was on Wall Street on 9/11, and my heart goes out to the families who've lost their loved ones. Dan?
Yeah, 9/11. I was an agent on 9/11 with the Secret Service, and I just remember, as you probably do, even from the media perspective, the chaos. Remember, nothing worked like we thought it was going to work. So the director and I, we've both been deeply inspired, obviously, as everyone in America was, by tragic, horrible incident. But I know when Kash and I are sitting there in the morning, that is the single motivating factor for us, is keep the homeland safe. That is priority.
What's he talking about? This is Dan Bongino. I'm used to him wearing those tight little medium shirts. Let's rewind this for 1 second. 1 second. This will be this. I'll do 3 of these. I get 3 timeouts. This is my first one. I'm going to call this bullshit Dan Bongino right here, talking all this nonsense. This is not the Dan Bongino we wanted, right? Dan Bongino is a yeller and a screamer. He's going to cuss. He plays Pantera at 12 a.m. Isn't this the tough guy? This Dan Bongino, Secret Service. All this in Butler, right? And he was part of the Secret Service. The Butler lit the guy on the roof. They lit him on the roof, just trolling around to shoot Trump. They got Trump. They got Trump. That's my first time out.
Priority number one.
And I want to ask you about that. I'll go into some of the specifics. But, Director, you've said many times that the FBI has been politicized. Mm-hmm. So what are your plans to rebuild trust in this fine institution and depoliticize the FBI?
So we have a multi-part process. First of all, our priorities. Simple. Crush violent crime. Defend the homeland. Rigorous organizational accountability. And the fourth, which leads directly to your question, aggressive constitutional oversight with Congress. The way we rebuild trust is we already have the men and women here in the rank and file that signed up to be cops, that signed up to be intel analysts, that signed up to be special support staff, that want to do the work. That's why we're sending them into the field. We can talk about that later. What we need America to know is that this place was politicized, and Congress has rightfully requested the documents from Crossfire Hurricane to January 6th to the Richmond Catholic Memo and so much more. But now finally Americans are reading for themselves the documentation where a very select few leaders in the former FBI decided to politicize it. We don't need me and the deputy telling you it's politicized. We want the American people to read it, and now they are.
And I know I lived with it for you. I watched it with you and Devin Nunes when you were truth tellers on all of this, and you were as well, Dan, throughout the Russia collusion story and the rest.
Look, I can speak to the folks that were in our seats, our predecessors, and they intentionally failed the American public by putting on the biggest DC deception game we've ever seen. They said the FBI was the most storied institution for law enforcement, and it was. And it will be again very soon. But when the likes of Comey and McCabe and Strzok and company came in here with the James Bakers of the world and intentionally lied to a federal court only to rig a presidential election by lying to the American public and using taxpayer dollars, likely illegally, to fund this entire operation, and then withhold exculpatory information from a federal court that I used to appear before to manhunt terrorists, that's what broke the FBI. And then when they were caught, they lied about it. And you and a few others like Dan and others were brave enough to cover it 6, 7, 8 years ago. And we're still talking about it today because as Congress is working rigorously with us, the Crossfire Hurricane documents are coming fast and hard. And they're being sent there unredacted so we can have full accountability. And that's how you restore what the trust that was lost to the American public when it comes to the FBI.
Yeah, but come on, Director, with all due respect, we've been talking about this for a long time, and I've been demanding accountability for many, many years. senators, one of the, you mentioned Comey, Strzok, and the rest, they've got TV shows, they've got media platforms, they're fine. There's been no accountability.
Well, look, it's a fair criticism, but what I will tell people is we weren't here in the FBI in the last 5 years when we had statute of limitations that were still in play, where we could have investigated criminal conduct. Most of these statute of limitations are 5 years old. And we will investigate criminal conduct where we find a righteous case to do so, and the law and the facts allow us to. But a lot of it we're precluded from. So we'll take the criticism, and it's rightfully so. That could we have done more in the past? Sure, people before us could have. But what we can do now is continue to put out the documents and the information that these people withheld from the American public. And I'm just telling you right now, as much as we know about Crossfire Hurricane, he and I just found out more last week. And we're continuing to work with Congress to put those documents out. That's how vindictive and vicious the former leadership structure here was. Not only did they...
I feel like it's a TV timeout. So the Crossfire Hurricane was basically Hillary Clinton faking Russian collusion that Trump wanted to pee on beds. We all know that it was fake. It was already fake. I believe the one guy from the dossier that put it out, I can't even, Michael Steele? Yeah, I think Michael Steele did 6 months in jail recently, like a year ago, or he's in jail right now. So this is all nonsense. We don't care about Crossfire Hurricane. Oh, the commercials are over.
They bastardized the FISA process and lied to the American public. They withheld and hid documentation and put it in rooms where people weren't supposed to look. And it's a good thing we're here now to clean it up, and you're about to see a wave of transparency.
What do you mean?
Just give us about a week or two.
Okay. Well, I can tell you right now that the judge that gave a smack on the wrist on the one agent that lied and, misled the American people, that's the same judge who's back and stopping Donald Trump from doing things, isn't it, Judge Boasberg?
Yeah, I just got to push back. Listen, we've been here 2 months. He's been here a couple more weeks than that. I mean, we've been here 2 months.
Anyway, he wants to push back. You're
dealing with a 38,000 member organization and an approximately $12 billion budget.
Fair point.
Where to expect us in 2 months to dig up what was a 8-year, maybe longer, multi-year politicized investigation with multiple layers of processes, from Woods procedures being just thrown in the garbage can and flushed down the toilet bowl, to multiple layers of accountability where people lied and obfuscated. I'm not asking you to trust me. You want this done right, or you want it done quickly? Because you can't have it both ways. You want it done quickly, we'll do it. And you know what'll happen? Just what happened last time. Those same Spygate collusion perpetrators sued the government, got money, got all this shit. You want that? We'll do it. We'll do it quickly and do it wrong.
But are you saying you found things that even you didn't know about? I mean, you were at the core of this.
Yes. I was the lead Russiagate investigator for the House Intelligence Committee. And I've been on both your shows in a prior life talking about it. And I'm telling you and the American public that we have now found material and information and people who wanted to hide it from the world since we got in these seats. And we, as the deputy said, we are trying to do it in a fashion where not only are we informing the American public of what happened, but we can have accountability for it. And that takes a little bit more time. And when you layer on the fact that we are rolling out our priorities on violent crime and defending the homeland, we're running a 3-part animal here, and we're going 100 miles an hour on each single one.
So important.
I want to add to that, too, because what the director's saying is right. You got to remember, we come in the morning, there's a portfolio of 100 level 10 items. If it's a level 9, which is a pretty big freaking deal, someone else fixed it. The only thing that gets to my desk or his is a level 10. That's the entire day. Look at his schedule any given day. I'll show you the palm card I have. It is filled from 7:30 to he leaves 7 at night, 6:30 at night. It's filled all day. We just can't focus on one thing. You want New York to go boom? DC to go boom? You want an OC organization to go hack into some cyber network and crack all of Fox News' holdings? We're dealing with all that stuff too. Everything's a priority. Everything's a priority. This is one of many things we're doing. It's not an excuse. It's just reality.
Now, the Democrats are turning on you, right? I mean, I saw your hearing the other day, and critics have accused you of using the FBI to target political enemies. So set the record straight. You wrote an entire book about it, Government.
I don't want to hear about his book about government gangster. Let's fast forward it. Let's fast forward about 2-3 minutes, I guess, because he's going to talk about his book he wrote. So far, I'm just getting a bunch of disappointment, right? Are we not getting a bunch of disappointment? Israel wants to fight Iran, right? You know what I'm saying? They wanted to bomb their nuclear facilities. Good luck, Israel. Good luck without us. I don't think you have America's back right now. I think Israel's at an all-time low, and they're getting desperate. And hopefully we can all figure it out. But this Dan Bongino whole thing, I guess I don't know. She's talking about all this other stuff, Crossfire Hurricane. I want to get into the Epstein, and I want to get into the Trump assassination. I'm trying to see how much information was given on that, because I just saw like 1-minute clips. Hopefully they talked more than that. Oh, let's pull this up.
The field and outside of Washington, D.C. Now, if the Democrats want to play politics with that, they're the elected officials. They get to say what they want. But yelling at me and Bongino, we could take it all day long.
I don't even understand why. Why did they do that? I mean, why put the FBI and its reputation at risk? What, it was just to win an election? Why?
Because they're weak. Because they're weak. I hate weak people. I can't stand it. They didn't have, we're on TV, so I already said BS once, but they didn't have the guts, the courage, or the character to do the right thing. They did the easy thing. Donald Trump became a convenient political football. They thought they could leverage. They thought they thought with the media on their side that they'd get away with it.
I know that there are cells, drug trafficking cells and human trafficking cells. How significant is this in America?
It's everywhere. I mean, when you open up the border, like, look, that's not a political statement.
He basically said sex trafficking is everywhere.
Families out there, mothers who are afraid for their young girls that they may get taken.
I want to put everyone at ease watching this today. There is, I hate cliches, but there really is a new sheriff in town. His name is Donald J. Trump. This administration, in conjunction with General Bondi and our director, Kash Patel, I am in the briefing, Maria, with the 5 of us, Emil, the PDAG, Todd, the DAG, AG, Kash, and me, every morning over at DOJ. The attitude every morning from the president on down, he, the president of the United States, wants this FBI to be able to, in 1 month, 6 months, a year, or 2 years, wants to be able to get out in front of the American people and say, your lives are noticeably different. He doesn't want fairy tales, Aesop's fables. He doesn't want any of that stuff. He wants people to be able to touch it and feel it. I don't care if you're in Stewart, Florida, or Harlem, New York. He wants you to walk outside and say, wow, my neighborhood does look different.
Where are the biggest cells in the country? And how does it work? Are there spotters? Like, how does it work?
It's based on a variety of factors. So when it comes to trafficking, you got to look at the interstate system and look at the intersections of the interstate system running through the Midwest and across the country. Then you just got to look for hard evidence. I didn't know this till my confirmation process, but Memphis, Tennessee is the homicide capital of America per capita. Didn't know that. We have a problem there. We're now addressing it. We're rolling out one of our task forces in the state of Tennessee. But we also know that Ohio possesses the roadway system where the trafficking is through the roof just because of the interstate. So you have to get out there in the field, not just let the FBI agents and intel folks get out there and do the work, but partner with state and local law enforcement, which is a priority, and tribal law enforcement. That's a big, big deal for us. We are not forgetting about Indian country. They suffer from the same violent crime that we do you and the rest of America, and we're going to help them. And that's how you learn the ground-based level facts that you need to deploy our assets. We're not coming up with anything fancy. We're just attacking the problem, but we're smart enough to go after the information and say, that's where the problem is because you told us it's there. Now we know we're going.
That's interesting. What about the big cities? I mean, we've heard about Tren de Aragua being in New York City.
Yeah, we're about to ruin your summer if you're a bad guy. So I'm just warning you now, like, don't buy movie tickets because you're probably not going to cash them in. So the director and I put something together in conjunction with our DOJ partners, General Bondi and Dag Blanche, actually this morning. And if you're a violent criminal, this FBI and our leadership.
I want to get to a few specifics, and I know you can't talk about any active investigations, so and our viewers understand that. But how come we don't have more information on the assassination attempts on President Trump?
All right, here it's going to get good. Let's start this. This is what I want to hear.
2 reasons. 2 open, ongoing prosecutions. So 2 of the investigations.
So he's saying that 2 of them are investigations, right? I don't understand what the investigation is. If the first assassination attempt, he was dead, right? They shot him on the roof. We still don't know if it was the snipers or it was the local Pennsylvania police department or sheriffs there. We still don't understand how he was allowed to just get up on the roof at a rally. And we know about the one guy that I guess it was in the bushes at Mar-a-Lago with the blue hair. I think if you're over the age of like 40-something, 48, 49, and you are dyeing your hair blue, it's a sign. It's a sign. You know what I'm saying? And it's throughout history. It's throughout history. They can sort of, I guess, drug you up and control your mind. And you'll just lay in a bush and try to shoot a president. I don't know. So let's carry on. Now I guess that was my second timeout. I got one more timeout yet, and we're in the third quarter.
Investigations are obviously closed because the individuals are dead, but there's 2 live prosecutions, and so we can't get ahead of the federal court case. A lot of that information will come out in the federal court cases, but we have personally invested our time in making sure that we have looked at any possible international connections to terrorism and adversaries alike. And we've both been down to Quantico. We've both done the laboratory testing. We've both seen the explosives analysis. We've both seen the firearm and physically held it. We are all in on these investigations.
Are we going to be surprised at what you learned?
You know what, Maria? Kash is not kidding. We've been personally briefed extensively on every single.
So they've been briefed. They've been briefed on the information they have. You know what I'm saying? You hand me an envelope or a folder. Excuse me. You hand me a folder, and it tells me we investigated ourselves and we found nothing wrong. You know what I'm saying? We seen it with our own eyes. It was on TV. It was on TV.
Detail, nugget, tendril of this case. One is actively in court right now, so out of respect for the case, it's probably more appropriate that I stay quiet on that. However, I'm not going to tell people what they want to hear. I'm going to tell you the truth, and whether you like it or not is up to you. If there was a big explosive there, right? Given my history as a Secret Service agent and my personal friendship as a director does with the president, give me one logical, sensible reason we would not have. If you can think of one, there isn't. In some of these cases, the there you're looking for is not there. And I know people, I get it. I understand. It's not there. If it was there, we would have told you.
Well, the other issue that's been talked about recently is this mortgage fraud and the FBI opening a formal case.
That's it. Mortgage fraud. She goes into the assassination tip of a president / a president that's running for president again. And she goes into mortgage fraud. This is what I'm talking about. This doesn't fire you up. And I guess it's crumbling. It's crumbling. Dan Bongino and Kash Patel look like clowns in this interview. They are folded. the guys who tried to shoot Trump, who was running around on the building, who was 200 yards away. 200 yards away, the Secret Service, FBI was underneath the building because it was too slanted. It was too slanted for them to get up there and to watch. But they let this hippie in with 5 phones, his long hair. His house was scrubbed, 100% scrubbed, no silverware in the whole house. And his parents, I guess, were teachers of psychology. This is the first shooter you ever met where you didn't find the parents. These actors are, I don't know if they're actors or they get mind controlled, and because there's a lot of crazy people out there. You know what I'm saying? There's crazy people out there, and they get these people to do stuff, I guess. Somehow you can manipulate them into doing stuff, take vaccines, or go out and protest. You know what I'm saying? They will pay you to go protest, just like they would pay you with a cheeseburger to take a shot. I mean, they'll do anything. And the common folk it's common. You know what I'm saying? They're NPCs out here. They're NPCs. They do not understand. And if you're listening in, you're liked up and you subscribed here, you understand. And we're gonna fast forward this because I don't care about mortgages. You know what I'm saying? Most people have mortgages. We pay rent. You pay electricity. You gotta go to the grocery store to eat. You're going to the gas station. You're lucky enough you can go out there and you can buy some cardboard and collect sports players. You know what I'm saying? Anything just to, you know what I'm saying? They throw all these distractions at you, but anything but for you to go out and vote and to pay attention how they steal all our money.
Case against Letitia James.
So again, ongoing cases, and we take our
fighting real crime. Look at illegal migrations. We're coming for you.
Yeah, with that knock at the door, it's on Amazon. That's going to be us. This is a huge job. And Maria, not only does it destroy innocence, I said to everyone in the room, say week 2 or 3, when Kash and I put Restoring Justice together to go get these mutts off the street, these kitty pornographers and these animals, right? I said to everyone in the room, I said, you know why it's going to matter to America? Because every
building that's commensurate with that. And that's not this place.
I mean, the Trump administration is...
We can get, but I think when we show you
$1 billion new facility, and you know what he said? He said, go find us a place already up and running. We can go in. Well, it's going to need some upgrades, skiffs where we can.
Cyber training facility, a long range facility, our terrorism explosive device, cost saving things we did was we ended this TDY boondoggle. You're getting it. We can only control the FBI, but you're getting it from the FBI.
Take the distinction. Not that it's better or worse, but there's a distinction there.
Certain degree before they fire you. And Steve Jensen,
illegal alien criminals and child predators are...
He has sealed the border. He has stopped 51st state or not. But we're not doing a lot of media, and we're going to continue to not
take the distinction. Not that it's better.
We just found it. We mandating you come here. And here
offices across the country.
15
on January 6th.
This is January. I don't want January 6th. I want
so
the Epstein
there is
stuff.
As put out the letters, and you're
it's undercover egging
difference. So when you see them,
our predecessor literally fought
nothing.
And child predators are next in your ongoing crackdown.
Oh yeah.
How are you going to do it?
The proffer
coming in by air, and the sheer tyranny of distance of the northern border and the lack of cooperation from...
I don't even know if it's even in here anymore. You know what I'm saying? They will erase stuff. Here's Dan Bongino. I don't understand what Dan Bongino's doing this for, but here we go. Here's Dan Bongino.
That's right. What cause is dear to your heart?
Cause is dear to my Israel. Defense of Israel.
What is number one? That's right. What cause is dear to your heart?
Cause is dear to my Israel. Defense of Israel.
I don't even. What's that all about? What the hell is that all about? They talking about politicians got to nuke stuff. Pam Bondi 9/11. Trump with the kill the boar. I don't know, people. I think I ruined that. They're never gonna stop. And I guess it's like sort of like Puffy and Cassie trial going on. Kid Cudi, all that nonsense. And what's the whole thing going around on TikTok about a Prince letter or video? I mean, the media will keep on distracting us. They're going to keep on distracting us. They won't stop. They don't care. I'm going to get on out of here. I got to get on out of here. It's late at night, baby. It's late at night. We are going to do some rips. We're going to do some rips, baby. I got Topps Resurgent. Hopefully we can pull out some Washington Redskins players, some GOATs, some autographs and all that. But I'm going to get on out of here. It's peace and love. God loves you. I love you. And we got to keep on fighting, baby. Keep on fighting. Don't stop. Do not stop, because the game keeps on going.